Hey everybody, it's your old pal Chuck, and today we're taking a look at Roadtrap and Battleslash. And yes, I had to look those names up. These are from the Wave 2 Power of the Primes Legends class figures. These are really fun, and what's great is that, as you can probably already know and tell, these are updates to the classic Duocon figures from back in the 80s. And they combined to form Battletrap. And so basically what they did is they took the two components, gave them individual names and robot modes, and combined them together. Now, this review is going to be a little different, because I know a lot of reviewers have already covered it. And if you notice, Roadtrap is in robot mode, while Battleslash is in its vehicle mode. The reason being is we're going to do the transformations into the modes that I think then are easier to get to the combined form out of. Meaning, Roadtrap's vehicle mode, it's easier to then transform it for the combined mode, where Battleslash, the robot mode, is easier to get into the torso mode. So we'll do that, and we're going to start with Roadtrap. Start with the lower half. Okay, Roadtrap's transformation is actually fairly simple, and as you can see, there is a lot of articulation to the figure. He does have ball joints in the elbows. There is just one slight issue, is that due to the transformation, you're unable to get the arms really perfectly flat in place. But first thing what you want to do is come down to the legs here. Behind the feet are these little black tabs and that are connected to the wheel, so you want to remove those. Next, what you can do is go ahead, bring the legs together, then you're going to fold everything back, and it's kind of weird. The windshield here that forms the windshield of the truck mode are on a separate hinge from the rest of the foot, and just getting them up and down, it's kind of tricky. You know, everything's a little tight in that regard. Next, what you want to do with the torso is come on out, swing this around. Now, you don't want to peg any of the arms into place yet, because that's going to, you'll do that here at the end. And the next step is you want to just go and separate the chest here. Ooh. It's on a separate hinge that you're going to bring down. It'll come in behind here. You know, things might become a little disheveled, but and then what you can go ahead and do is come in, fold the arms down and around all the way. There are two tabs there that will come up and peg into place. The torso might get unpegged, but you can fix that. See the tabs there and there, so they just go get them in and just there you go. That actually does hold everything nice and tight, and you know, if the torso splits, you can just push it back together. Now that you have that, come back underneath, and there are little tabs. They're going to sit in the fists of the robot mode, so those wheels will come back up. And then finally, kind of the strangest part is you want to just come in underneath here and just fold the what was that last torso bit down, and it's going to sit at this like weird angle, but there you go. Everything's wrapped up. There are little ports there that if you want to plug a Prime Master in, or a Titan Master, you know, whatever you prefer, you can definitely do that. So there it is in vehicle mode. Now we're going to go back and we're going to do the torso mode. So the first thing you want to do is this whole section that you folded down, just fold it back out, come underneath, flip out those pegs again, and then come up here. I guess you're going to want to flip these up like that. The torso will probably split at some point. That's okay. Go ahead. Separate the arms in that section there, bring that up, flip these back in just like so, and then separate the legs. Now, here's the thing. There are ports down here that this section is supposed to tab into place. But in doing so, you kind of lose the knee. So it's really up to you how you want to have this. Most people I know leave it a little loose. But, you know, the arms here are still tabbed in and all that. So that's the torso mode. So we'll pause and we'll take a look at Battleslash, and we'll go through its transformations. Okay, Battleslash is a lot more involved than Roadtrap. It's actually one of the more complicated Legends transformations that I've encountered. You know, vehicle mode, you do have that spinning rotor. It doesn't spin that freely. And also here in the back, you do have, again, a spot for a Prime Master or a Titan Master. But yeah, start the transformation. First thing you want to do is flip up this chest piece right here. There are some tabs that will peg into the black section here that holds the shoulders in place. And then come behind, separate the arms. They do come together, and then you notice one section has a longer tab that goes into a port in the back of the leg. Separate them, bring them down, and out like that. You can go ahead, I guess, yeah, for right now, close that back up. Then go around, swing this whole section up and around. Come back here and separate the legs. Keep those arms down a little farther out of the way. Swing these black sections down that were the tail pieces, and as you'll see, yeah, it's very tight. They will come together and peg, and that will form the crotch area of the robot. You then go ahead, flip up the rotor blades, and rotate that back section around. Do it again here. Rotate, and there you go. Come back up here, flip that back open. Just make your life a little easier. And at the same time, you want to come in, flip up the head. That will, there's two little notches on that white middle section that will peg into the black plate the head is on. And now to bring these back, and then this is where things get a little interesting. The arms are actually on a double hinge there that you're going to loop around just like that. Then you can go ahead and separate them. And they're on a ball joint with a hinge. And then you want to rotate it forward like that so that the shoulder section is actually, the arm is straight back like that. And then the reason you had that back section open is because it is then going, there's a slot right there, I don't think you can see it, that a white tab is going to go into. So do the same thing on this arm and bring it down, bring it around, down like that. So you can then, you know, as you handle the figure, you will flip up that panel. Just make sure you have it back in the two black panels in place. That'll close it up just like that. That front section's there. And there you have Battleslash in robot mode. Ball joints thus far are still nice and tight. You do have that rotating blade. Unfortunately, it is not really meant to come off, nor is there any way to transform it into a handheld sword like it is shown on the packaging. I kind of remember back in the day there used to be a law that toy companies could not show the toys doing stuff in fantasy situations that the figure could not actually do. But you do have the ball-jointed hips, ball-jointed knee here. And like I said, you do have this very weird ball joint section here in the arms. So you do have that, you know, in the outward. But that's it for Battleslash. I do believe I tend to enjoy this a little bit more. Unfortunately, it did not include, like, if you have the classic Duocon like I have, there was a double-barrel cannon that was supposed to, like, can go on the truck, can go underneath the helicopter. That was not included. So to go back into, and now to get into the combined mode, like I said, I think it's a lot easier to do from robot mode. So just come in here, open up these panels again, bring the arms in, bring that down, flip up the robot head, and then this is now going to form the back of the figure. So just go ahead, rotate these panels in. They don't peg together. There's no tabbing, unfortunately, for this mode. But you'll see it'll just sit basically like that. I mean, the friction is holding it in place. I would have liked there being some sort of tabbing section or whatever to hold everything in like that. But I can understand why they didn't do it. Come around this way. And now basically what you're going to do is flip down this blue panel right here, and you're going to bring that black section back up, but now you're going to fold it in on itself, just like so. There are two tabs. It will peg into the side there, and then go ahead and flip up the head for the combined mode. That will peg into some tabs that are on the back of the smaller robot's head, just right there. Keeping everything straight, and then of course come up, close the panel, and then finally close up this crotch section back up, and there you have Battleslash in its combined mode. So we'll pause and I'll show you how to bring everything together. Okay, so I brought a Roadtrap back in, and now we're going to make a Battletrap. So just give yourself a little room here. The head of Roadtrap is going to connect into that port right there that was on the front of the helicopter. Just slide it in. Just like so. It's a tight connection. And then once you have that done, you have Battletrap. And I got to tell you, it is a cool figure. You do have, as you can see, the ankle articulation there. You do have the knees, ball-jointed shoulders, very tight, ball-jointed elbows, and a swivel at the head. And because of how it connects, you even have a waist swivel, which the larger combiners don't even have. So, yeah, that's really cool. Now, some people have done various modifications where you can get the blades up higher and stuff like that. I really don't want to fool around with that. But this is a cool figure. I've had a lot of fun messing around with it. As some of you might know, usually it takes me a while to do a review if I'm just having a lot of fun with the figure, and definitely I was having a lot of fun with Battletrap. I just wanted to show you that Battletrap can hold some of the Prime Master weapons, and if I'm honest, I think the scaling works best here in terms of that, you know, with regular Legends figures, those are way too big, and then with like Deluxes, they're kind of too big, and then Voyager and Leaders, they kind of get a little too small. I think this is really the best size. Now, I really like Battletrap. I like how it came out. Really hope we get flywheels. But I do have one complaint, and it's a little bit of a major one. The Duocon gimmick involved a spring-loaded transformation. If we didn't live in a world where something called crash combiners exist, I can completely understand what Hasbro did. Unfortunately, I think in the Generations line, Hasbro feels that since it's more geared towards older collectors, that means we don't want gimmicks. I can understand removing spring-loaded missiles, but the whole point around the Duocons is the spring combining. I really think using Crash Combiner technology, we could have had something where the helicopter came down on top of the truck, sprung together, and we got a just as articulated final robot. I wouldn't have minded losing a couple joints on the individual Legends figures if it meant we got that nice spring combination. I know I'm probably in the minority, but I just had to say that. So, Battleslash and Roadtrap are packaged separately. As of right now, they are available on Amazon.com, Big Bad Toy Store, and I think a couple other online retailers, as well as available in brick and mortar, like Target, Walmart, and Toys R Us. However much longer that place will be around, that's a vlog for another time. I do want to point out, especially with Amazon, that I did have noticed some really weird pricing, where Amazon, I think at one point, was selling the Wave 2 Legends figures for about $15 and change. And that's shipped and sold by Amazon. Do not pay that much for these figures. These are like roughly $10 figures. So if you can get them for $10 or less, you're doing good. This is your old pal Chuck for Battletrap. Highly recommended. We will see you next time.